Grandma, why do you always smell kind of funny? Mom says that's just your special smell. That one innocent sentence was enough to make Shirley Simmons, 71, feel her heart sink. All her life, she'd taken pride in being clean. She showered every day, her clothes always smelled fresh, and her home was spotless. And yet, the granddaughter she adored no longer wanted to sit in her lap. Every time Shirley reached out for a hug, the little girl wrinkled her nose and turned away. That night, Shirley pulled the blanket over her head and cried harder than she had in years. Hi, my name is Dr. Henry Thompson. I'm 77 years old, and over the past 50 years, I've worked with more than 10,000 older adults. And today, I want to tell you something that most people are too polite to say out loud. Have you ever noticed no one sits next to you on the bus? Do your grandkids seem distant? Does your daughter-in-law crack a window every time you visit? If any of that feels familiar, it's probably not just coincidence. There's something quietly known as old person smell. And yes, it's real. But here's the surprising part. It doesn't come from poor hygiene. I've met thousands of seniors who are spotless. Like Franklin Moore, 73, impeccably clean house like a hotel. But one afternoon, his son brought a friend over, and Franklin overheard the boy whisper, "You can totally smell the old man in here." From that day on, Franklin avoided his grandkids. He didn't know what was wrong, only that something had changed. And he felt ashamed, without ever being told why. Here's what I've discovered. Nearly all adults over 60 experience subtle shifts in body chemistry that can cause a distinct odor. It's natural. It's common. But most people don't even know it's happening, because no one wants to hurt their feelings. So if you're starting to wonder, could this be happening to me? You're not alone. And more importantly, there's something you can do about it. This could be happening to you. Don't worry, it's not because you're dirty. It's not because you did anything wrong. The truth is, the human body changes with age, and that includes the way we smell. But this isn't something you have to live with forever. Watch this video until the end, and I'll show you an incredibly simple method, just 3 minutes a day, that can reduce old age odor by up to 90%. This approach has already helped over 1,000 of my patients feel confident again, able to hug their grandkids without fear or embarrassment. If you find this message helpful, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on useful real-life tips to help you live healthier and happier every single day. Now, let's find out where this old person smell really comes from, and how you can get rid of it in the easiest way possible. Not long ago, during an online consultation, I spoke with a woman named Ella Brooks, 79 years old, living alone in Arizona. She confided in me, "I don't understand, doctor. I wear perfume every day, the kind my grandkids used to say smelled so nice. But lately when I call them into my room, they just stand at the doorway and find excuses to leave." I asked her if she felt like her room was well ventilated. She replied, "I usually have to keep the windows open because even I feel like the air is kind of heavy." That's when I realized she was doing what so many older people do, using fragrance to cover up another smell. I told her gently but honestly, "Mrs. Ella, perfume is not the answer. In fact, it might be making things worse." She was quiet for a moment, then softly asked, "Then what is that smell, doctor?" "I bathe. I wash my clothes regularly. I don't live in a mess." And that's exactly the issue. Many people live very clean, very tidy lives. But over time, the body still produces a unique kind of odor, something no one ever teaches us how to recognize or manage properly. And the first instinct for many is to use perfume, deodorant, or air fresheners, things that simply mask the smell with another scent, like spraying perfume in a room that hasn't been cleaned. The result? Loved ones feel uncomfortable, but they don't say anything. They open the windows. They keep their distance. And older adults are left feeling hurt and confused with no idea why. So to break this sad cycle, you need to understand, where does this old age smell come from? And why does it appear even if you bathe regularly, live neatly, and are far from lazy, despite what people might think? After my conversation with Mrs. Ella, I realized I needed to explain things more clearly. Because the truth is, not everyone understands why their body develops a smell, even when they take great care of their hygiene. Many people believe that the so-called old person smell comes simply from not showering enough, or that it's just a natural part of aging. But in fact, there are specific biological changes happening behind the scenes, changes that science has confirmed. And once you understand what causes them, you can take real steps to improve the situation. Let's start with sweat. It may sound strange, but when you were younger you actually sweated more, on average nearly a liter per day. After age 60, the amount of sweat decreases to less than half of that. Now you might be wondering, if I sweat less, shouldn't I smell less? Actually, sweat is one of the ways your body flushes out toxins. It carries bacteria, excess oil, and waste to the surface of your skin. So when your body sweats less, those substances stay on your skin longer, creating the perfect environment for odor-causing bacteria to grow. I once had a patient, Mr. Donald Ray, 74 years old, who said during an appointment, "Back in the day I'd sweat like crazy, it was annoying. But now I don't sweat at all, and that's when problems started." I explained to him that because his body wasn't sweating as much anymore, the odor stuck around longer. It even clung to his clothes, bed sheets, and pillows. The second issue is something called sebum. It's the natural oil your skin produces. When you're younger, it has a different chemical makeup. But starting around age 50, sebum begins to contain a compound called 2-nonenal, an oxidized fatty acid. It doesn't exist in younger people, but after age 60, levels of 2-nonenal start rising, and they peak around age 70. This compound is one of the main culprits behind the smell people associate with aging. It's not because you're dirty, it's because your skin is quietly changing with time. And lastly, the mouth is another source of odor that often goes unnoticed. After 60, your body produces over 50% less saliva. Saliva doesn't just keep your mouth moist, it also helps wash away bacteria. When your mouth is dry, bacteria thrive. That's when bad breath becomes a real issue. I remember Mrs. Judith Wells, 68, once told me, "Whenever I talk, I see my grandkids take a little step back. Now I understand. It's because my mouth was dry and I had no idea it was causing a smell." So even if you shower daily, wear perfume, and use mouthwash, the smell can still linger. That's because the root of the problem comes down to three major changes: decreased sweating, shifting sebum composition, and dry mouth due to reduced saliva. The good news is, there are ways to improve all of this as long as you understand which parts of the body need the right kind of care. And I'll explain all of that in the next part of this video. If you're still watching and you found this information helpful, drop a 1 in the comments to let me know you're with me on this journey. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss out on simple tips that can make a big difference in your life as you age. Let's continue. If you stop watching here, chances are you'll keep trying things that don't work, wasting money, time, and still not solving the problem. But what I'm about to share next is a method that's been proven through over 50 years of professional experience. It's simple, easy to follow, and if you take it seriously, you'll start noticing a difference in just 1 week. And if you keep it up for a month, your family will be the first to notice and say something. Many patients ask me, "Dr. Henry, can the smell of aging really be eliminated?" The answer is yes, but only if you do it the right way, not with those flashy products you see in ads. I remember Mr. Raymond Parker, 75 years old, came into my clinic looking defeated. He said, "I love my grandkids so much, but they won't come into my room. The windows are always wide open. I don't know what I did wrong." 6 months later he came back, face glowing. "Now my grandkids love to sit in my lap again just like when they were little. It's like magic, doctor." And you can experience that too. You don't need special products or expensive pills. You just need to start today, right at home. Here are 3 basic, simple but powerful principles that 97% of my patients have used successfully. First principle, drink enough warm water, just water. People often ask me, and yes, water is the body's most powerful natural cleanser. It helps flush out toxins through your urine, especially warm water in the morning. Just 1 glass can significantly reduce odor caused by internal buildup. Mrs. Gloria Adams, 72, once told me, "At first, drinking warm water in the morning felt weird. But after a month I got used to it. Now if I skip it, I miss it. My skin feels smoother," and my grandchild even said, "Grandma, you smell like toast." Set a goal of 6 glasses of water a day. If you have trouble remembering, here's what I recommend. 1 glass when you wake up, 1 before lunch, 1 after eating, 1 around 3 p.m., 1 before dinner, and 1 before bed. And remember, tea and coffee don't count because they actually dehydrate you. If you drink coffee, add an extra glass of water to balance it out. Second principle, take light walks in the sunlight. I know many of you will say, I'm too old. I can't move much. I understand, and I'm not asking you to do heavy exercise. Just 20 minutes of slow walking in gentle sunlight each day can make a huge difference. Morning or late afternoon sun helps kill bacteria on the skin and encourages just enough sweat to help release waste. Mr. Leonard Fisher, 78, once complained of aching legs and said he couldn't walk. Mr. Leonard Fisher, 78, once complained of aching legs and said he couldn't walk. I told him, just try walking from your bedroom to the kitchen and back, 3 times a day. A week later he called me saying, Doctor, I walked outside to get the mail today for the first time in months. The sun felt good. These little wins matter. Walking increases circulation, boosts your mood, and yes, it helps your skin and body regulate odor naturally. The third principle is to gently exfoliate. I don't mean with harsh scrubs or chemical peels. I mean soft exfoliation using a warm washcloth, especially in key areas. Underarms, behind the ears, folds of skin, groin, and feet. These are places where dead skin and oils accumulate, and over time, they can create a strong scent even if you bathe. Just a soft circular motion for 30 seconds each day is enough. Avoid using heavily scented soaps, which can irritate aging skin and make the problem worse. Instead, use mild, fragrance-free cleansers. One of my patients, Mrs. Loretta James, 81, told me, I always used fancy soaps. They smelled amazing but made my skin feel dry. When I switched to the simple cloth and plain soap method you gave me, my daughter hugged me and said, Mom, you smell like yourself again. I cried. These stories are real. The impact is real. And the solution is simple. Hydration, gentle movement, and targeted cleansing. That's it. 3 things you can start today right at home with 0 cost. Now, before we wrap up this part of the video, I want to remind you, the aging process is not something to be ashamed of. It's a journey, one filled with wisdom, love, and resilience. But with the right knowledge, you don't have to accept discomfort or isolation as part of that journey. You can stay close to your loved ones, hold your grandkids tight, and feel proud of who you are inside and out. So, if you're ready to take action, drop a heart emoji in the comments and let's keep this conversation going. And remember to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss another tip that helps you age with strength, grace, and dignity. Coming up next, I'll share the exact 3-minute routine that helped Mr. Raymond, Mrs. Loretta, and so many others experience a true transformation. You don't want to miss this, because it's not just about smelling better, it's about feeling like yourself again. I told him to start with 10 minutes around the yard each morning. 3 weeks later, he came back proudly saying, the smell on my skin is almost gone and I sleep better too. Third principle, bathe regularly with warm water. In the winter, many older folks skip showers because it's cold, but this is incredibly important. Bathing helps remove bacteria and buildup from the skin, especially in spots we often overlook. One small but important tip. Don't use water that's too hot. Hot water strips your skin's natural protective oils, which can actually make body odor worse. Stick to water around 98 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, and once a week, treat yourself to a 20-minute soak in a warm bath. This opens up your pores and clears out deep-seated grime. Many patients tell me that after their first soak, their skin feels softer and their body odor noticeably lighter. These 3 habits may seem small, but if you do them consistently, the smell of aging will gradually fade, almost like it was never there. But there's still one big secret left, and I'm going to reveal it next. A lot of older folks tell me, but doctor, I shower every day. Why do I still have a smell? And every time I ask just one question. When you shower, which areas do you actually scrub thoroughly? After thousands of conversations, I've discovered something unfortunate. Most people don't really clean the areas that matter. They just shower to feel fresh, not to truly remove odor at its source. I once met a man named Lawrence Dean, 70 years old. He said, "I thought showering daily was enough, but my grandkids still stayed away. It wasn't until you pointed out the spots I missed that I realized what was happening. That's why I want you to remember this. 90% of the smell associated with aging comes from just 3 key areas of the body. And if you miss them, it won't matter how often you shower, the odor will linger." The first area is skin folds. Places like the neck, armpits, under the breasts, around the belly button, groin, behind the knees, and inside the elbows. All these spots have something in common. They trap sweat, oil, and dead skin, creating the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. What's more, older adults often skip these areas, especially the back of the neck and behind the ears, 2 spots that easily develop odor but rarely get attention. When you clean these areas, use a soft washcloth or a gentle bath sponge. Scrub gently. There's no need to scrub hard because aging skin is delicate and prone to damage. The second area is anywhere with hair. That means your scalp, underarms, and chest. These areas trap the most sweat and sebum. The scalp in particular often gets washed too quickly. Many people shampoo their hair but don't really massage the scalp. I once advised Mrs. Rita Wallace, 65, to slow down when washing her hair and massage her scalp for at least 2 full minutes each time. 2 weeks later, she came back and said, "Doctor, the smell is gone." Even my grandson said, "Grandma, you smell like a bakery." For men with chest or stomach hair, it's important to scrub those areas with soap and dry them completely after bathing. The third area is wherever you sweat the most. That includes your feet, hands, and especially between your toes. You might be surprised to learn that unpleasant body odor doesn't always come from the armpits. It can come from your feet, trapped in socks and shoes all day. After bathing, make sure to scrub between your toes and dry them thoroughly before putting on socks. Use cotton socks and change them daily if possible. Alternate your shoes to give each pair time to breathe. For your back, which is hard to reach, use a long-handled brush or wrap a towel around your hand to scrub thoroughly. Sweat on your back can soak into your clothes and create stubborn odors. When you clean these 3 areas, always remember to use warm water, not hot. Hot water strips away the natural oils that protect your skin and can make odors worse by drying it out. Use a gentle, unscented soap. After your shower, apply a light moisturizer, especially during winter when skin tends to dry out and flake. I remember Mrs. Elaine Matthews, 71, once said, "I didn't believe scrubbing those spots would make any difference, but I gave it a try and wow, I noticed a change. The odor went down and my grandchild hugged me tight without making a face." If you start today, in just 1 week you'll notice the difference, not just in your skin or how your body smells, but in people's eyes, their expressions, and the closeness between you and those you love. Next, let's dive into another equally important part of the puzzle: your diet and daily habits. If you think that showering alone is enough to keep body odor away, I'm sorry to say you're missing a big piece of the solution. I once received an email from Mr. Wendell Craig, 69 years old, living in Northern California. He wrote, "Doctor, I've been following your advice on showering properly, and yes, it's gotten better. But why do I still notice a smell now and then?" That's a great question, and it's one I hear from many of my patients. Besides hygiene, what else can I do? The answer is yes. There's more you can do, and it's hiding right there in your kitchen, in your pantry, your fridge, and in the meals you eat every day. You may not have realized it, but the foods you consume affect your body odor far more than you think. Everything you put into your body gets processed through your liver, kidneys, sweat glands, and yes, it shows up through your skin. Eating the right foods helps cleanse your body from the inside out. But if you eat the wrong things, no matter how expensive your perfume is, the odor will quietly linger. So now we're going to look closely at which foods to avoid and which ones to include more of, so your body feels lighter, cleaner, and healthier each day. I'll also give you simple ways to build these habits into your life without having to completely change your routine. If you're still watching, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for truly caring about your health. And if you found these insights helpful so far, drop a 2 in the comments so I know you're still with me on this journey. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the next episodes will bring you more practical, proven tips that I've gathered over decades of working with thousands of older adults, just like you. Alright, let's keep going. During a small workshop for seniors, I received a question from Mr. Dr. Daniel Foster, 66 years old. He asked, "I've been eating garlic regularly since I was young. Does that mean garlic is what's making me smell, doctor?" That's a very common question, and the answer is, in the short term, yes, but in the long term, absolutely not. In fact, foods like garlic, onions, and strong spices can cause a temporary odor right after eating. But over time, they actually help cleanse the body, thanks to their rich antioxidant content. Here's the key thing to remember. As we age, our bodies go through a process called oxidation, and that's one of the main causes behind the distinct smell often associated with getting older. So if you want to eliminate odor at its root, start by eating more antioxidant-rich foods. Now, I know antioxidants might sound complicated, but they're found in everyday foods you already know. Tomatoes, apples, strawberries, brown rice, buckwheat. In general, foods that are red or purple in color tend to be high in antioxidants. These help slow the aging process and gradually reduce body odor over time. I once encouraged Mrs. Janice Morgan, 74, to simply eat one apple and a few slices of tomato every day. 2 months later, she came back with a big smile and said, "My grandchild hugged me longer without pulling away." He even said, "Grandma, you smell like a fruit garden." Next, try eating more water-rich fruits and vegetables like watermelon, pears, cucumbers, and tomatoes. These help rinse your body from the inside by flushing toxins out through your urine. If you struggle to eat a lot of raw fruits and vegetables, try making a smoothie each morning. It's easy to digest and can noticeably reduce odor in just a few weeks. So, don't wait. Your next chapter doesn't begin with a big leap, it starts with one small, loving step toward yourself. Whether it's washing those key areas, switching to cotton, or sipping that morning smoothie, each choice you make sends a powerful message. I still matter. I still care. And I deserve to feel fresh, vibrant, and loved every single day. You are not fading. You are ripening, growing wiser, warmer, and more radiant. Let go of shame. Embrace grace. And walk forward with confidence. If no one's told you today, you are deeply valued and your presence makes this world better. I'm Dr. Henry. Keep showing up for yourself. And I'll be right here walking this journey with you. Until next time, stay well, stay strong, and stay beautifully you.